All right, let's cut through the noise. There's one idea you need to burn into your mind right now. Density is the strategy. Look, we got to start with a hard truth. That 90-minute so-called gold standard workout, it's a fantasy. It was never, ever designed for someone like you. Not for the person in the arena, the person actually building something from scratch. You have to understand that whole model was built for a life you don't recognize, a life with clean lines and empty blocks on the calendar. Your calendar isn't clean, it's a war zone, and trying to force their peaceful little plan into your reality, that's not just a bad fit, it's self-sabotage. And every time you're forced to choose between the business and your body, you're taking on debt. It's a quiet debt, but it's real. And it's got a name. We call it biological bankruptcy. And here is where it gets insidious. This isn't like a credit card bill. This debt doesn't just live in your muscles. It bleeds. It seeps out and infects your command center, your brain, your focus, your clarity, your ability to execute under fire. That's where the real cost shows up. So what are you actually giving up? These aren't just buzzwords. These are your most critical assets. Your cognitive output, it dims. Your resilience to stress, it cracks. The quality of every decision you make starts to degrade. Energy, focus, patience, all of it gets cashed in to pay off a debt you didn't even realize you were racking up. And here is the absolute gut punch. The business doesn't just fail. It follows you. The decay starts inside of you. You are the leading indicator. When you start to rest, the whole machine you've built starts to grind to a halt. So what's the move? We need a different playbook, a counterattack designed for the world we actually live in, not the one in the magazines. That strategy is density. And I need you to hear this. It is not a workout. It is a weapon engineered for your reality. So what is it? High-density training. It's a brutally simple concept, doing more work in less time. Now, we're not cutting corners here. We're not reducing the work. We're compressing it. We're getting rid of all the wasted time, the dead air. It's the same work with less waste, which sends a much stronger signal to your body that it needs to adapt. Think about it in terms you already live and breathe. Traditional training, it's like steady, predictable server traffic. Manageable, low intensity. High-density training, though, that's a flash sale. It's a sudden, overwhelming surge of demand that forces the entire system to level up its capacity right now, or crash. It builds a system that thrives under load. Okay, so how do we actually do this? You need the right tools. We've got 3 core protocols to make this happen. And again, these aren't just exercises. They're tactical methods for executing the strategy. First tool in the kit, supersets. This is your foundation. It's simple. You pair 2 exercises for opposing muscle groups and you do them back-to-back with 0 rest. Think a set of push-ups for your chest, then you immediately get up and do a set of rows for your back. While one muscle is working, the other is actively recovering, no waste of time. And the math on this is just ridiculous. A typical chest and back workout might take you, 45 to 60 minutes? The superset equivalent delivers the exact same stimulus in 22 to 30 minutes. That's half the time. This isn't some gimmick. It's just superior design. So here's what it looks like on the ground. You knock out 10 push-ups. You immediately transition to 10 bent-over rows. Then, and only then, do you rest for 60 seconds. Repeat that cycle 3 times. You've just hit your entire upper body push and pull system in maybe 10 minutes. All right, tool number 2 is a bit more intense. It's called a drop set. This is how you push past perceived limits. You take an exercise to absolute failure. I mean, you can't do one more rep with good form. Then you immediately reduce the weight by about 20 or 30%, and you go to failure again. It's a shock to the system. But listen, you gotta be smart here. This is a scalpel, not a sledgehammer. Drop sets are a finishing tool. You use them on smaller isolation movements like bicep curls or tricep extensions at the end of the workout. If you try to do this on heavy squats, you're just writing yourself a prescription for injury. Don't do it. And our third tool, giant sets. If a superset is a targeted strike, a giant set is total warfare on a single muscle group. We're talking 3 or more exercises, all for the same body part, performed one after the other with no rest in between. You're attacking the muscle from multiple angles in one relentless burst. So for your lower body, it might look like this. 10 heavy squats. Then you go straight into 10 Romanian deadlifts, and then right into 10 walking lunges. After you've done all 3, you've earned a 2-minute rest. You survive 3 rounds of that, and your entire lower body is cooked in less than 15 minutes. It's absolutely savage, but it is brutally effective. So, how do we fit all of these pieces together? This isn't just theory. This is a blueprint. This is your 30-minute, no excuses battle plan that you can put into action today. Here's the clock. Minute 0 to 5, warm up, get the system online. 5 to 12, your first superset, push, pull. 12 to 19, your second superset, squat/hinge. 19 to 25, a giant set for your shoulders. 25 to 27, a quick drop set finisher for biceps. Last 3 minutes, cool down. That's it. 30 minutes. Full body is done. The excuse of no time is officially dead. Now, this system has rules. These are non-negotiable, and they're here to protect you. First, check your ego at the door. You're working with about 70 to 80% of your normal weight. Second, rest is not optional, it's strategic. Take your full 60 to 90 seconds between rounds. Third, don't pair two exercises that both torture your prep. And fourth, you have to fuel the work. This system runs on carbohydrates. Don't show up to a gunfight with an empty magazine. And let's get one thing straight about the real goal here. You are not just building muscle. You are building a system that can perform with precision when it is already tired. A body and a mind that can still execute when fatigue is screaming at you to quit. Your job demands that every day. Your training should reflect that reality. So this is what it all boils down to. This is the entire philosophy. Density is the strategy. Intensity is the mechanism you use to drive change. But consistency is the only variable that matters. It's the only thing that actually compounds over time. It's the only thing that builds the empire. So I'm going to leave you with this. That plateau you're feeling right now, in your body, in your business, it's a liar. What feels like a ceiling is usually just a system that hasn't been challenged from a new angle. Well, you've just been handed 3 new angles of attack. The only question left is, what are you going to build with them?